Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending today. I'd like to call this meeting to order at exactly 11:30 a.m. I can confirm we do have full quorum today as both Deputy Mayor Armour and Councillor Schumacher are joining us through Zoom. And with that, Councillor Renwick, would you mind reading the land acknowledgement statement? Oh, it says Councillor Stone.
It doesn't
Would you
matter.
mind reading the?
I got it.
Thank you.
I would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe under the terms of the Robertson-Huron Treaty Number 61 of 1850 and the Williams Treaties of 1923. We commit to acknowledge, learn, educate, create opportunity, honor sacred spaces, and take actions towards real truth and reconciliation in support of our commitment to walking the path together in respect, peace, and harmony for future generations.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Stone. And with that, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none, I will start the whole point of today's meeting. And I hope everyone is okay because I do have some prepared comments and I will be reading them. So as everybody is who is here today and who will be watching us online, you will know that at our November council meeting, council accepted a donation of a statue of Mahatma Gandhi from the Consulate General of India as a piece of public art to celebrate diversity and embrace symbols of unity and peace. What's really important to note is that the donation was championed by members of our community and was subject to our public art policy, which provides a process and criteria to evaluate every donation. This meant that the donation was reviewed against the policy and juried by some community members. Since that meeting, we have heard concerns and comments from residents throughout our entire community. And I want to assure the community that any comments from all the residents who provided them and that were sent to our clerks ahead of this meeting have all been circulated to council. And I know that council has read all of them. Our public art is part of the identity of Huntsville, which was pointed out on numerous occasions. And I recognize that a statue of an individual can mean different things to different people. And through this process, it has become absolutely clear that public art and monuments are two distinct things. Staff have already initiated a review of the public art donation policy and will ensure that this policy is reflective of the variety of circumstances, types of donations, and methods of public consultation. It's clear to me, based on the variety of feedback I have received and all of council has received, on both the statute and, more importantly, the process, that Huntsville is not currently in a position to accept this donation. What we intended to be a celebration of diversity and peace has highlighted a need for further discussion and progress in celebrating the depth of identities and diversity in Huntsville. We are having this meeting today so council can reconsider the vote on the Gandhi statue in light of the community's thoughtful response. And I should note, and I'm going to reiterate, this is not a public meeting, in that we're an opportunity for people to come forward. I will reiterate that all of the comments that we have received who have gone through our clerk's office have been circulated to all members of council, and we have reflected on those very carefully. So as to process, what I'm next going to do is ask council if we can reconsider the motion we previously approved. With that, I have a motion moved by Councillor Stone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Armour. Be it resolved that Council reconsiders Resolution number 190-25, re-report number CS-2025-6, public art donation. All those in favor? That carries. And the next part of this process is to put on, to read the original motion that was considered by Council in November. So with that, I have a motion moved by Councillor Renwick, seconded by Councillor Morrison. Be it resolved that in accordance with the public art policy, the town of Huntsville add the donation of a bronze statue of Mahatma Gandhi from the Consulate General of India to its public art inventory. And further, that the documentation to transfer ownership to the town of Huntsville be completed to the satisfaction of the Chief Administrative Officer and the Director of Community Services. And further, that the Director of Community Services and Manager of Recreation, Culture, and Heritage be authorized to sign all necessary documentation. And further, that staff work with senior leadership team on a suitable location should the site conditions not allow for installation of the statue along the west side of the Civic Center. So that was the original motion, and I will ask Council if you have any questions or comments you'd like to make. Councillor Stone.
Thank you. I have a short comment. My original vote to accept the statue was made with the very best of intentions. However, over the past week, it has been made perfectly clear that we made a mistake and should have gone to public consultation. I would like to personally, humbly apologize to the people of Huntsville for the consternation this has caused. I will not be voting to accept the statue today.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? Councillor Clark.
Thanks, Mayor Alcock. First of all, I just want to thank those in the audience that are here today, and thank you to each one that reached out to me by email. I responded to all of those, each one of them. I just want to make a short statement, and that is that I stand by the comments that I made opposing this donation at the last meeting. Our residents have let us know clearly that a bad decision was made. Our residents are asking us to make better decisions. As a council, we need to show better leadership. We need to make better choices. I also want to say that I'm very glad this meeting was called so the choice that was made can be reversed today.
Thank you. I think Councillor, thank you. Councillor Morrison.
Thank you, Mayor Alcock, and through you. Yeah, I think if you look at the intent of it, I think we have to admit we screwed up. You know, I think the main thing we screwed up on was the public consultation. We did consult the BIA, the Chamber, and the arts groups, and made an assumption that if the BIA wants it and the Chamber wants it, they'd be the most affected, so this makes sense. We missed the mark on reaching out to the public, but the good thing is this municipal government works. You always have a voice. I've responded to every single email and phone call. I've had really engaging conversations. I must say there have been some emails and comments that were offside that I didn't pay much attention to because that's not what our town is all about. But there was a lot of really well thought out and really relevant comments that I had paid attention to. Our town is built, believe it or not, on a lot of immigration. German, Italian, people from all different countries that come made Huntsville the town that it is. It's no different now. The intention was good. The consultation process was poor. We've learned our lesson from that, and that's our job as councillors, to serve the people that have reached out to us. So I think this is the right decision to revisit it and to revisit the art policy going forward so that we don't get in this situation again.
Are there any other comments before I call the question? I should be looking. Councillor Schumacher, and I followed by Deputy Mayor Armour.
I don't know if Dan has a comment or he's just clapping with his reaction. Yes, I have heard from all the constituents that have reached out to me by email, and I totally agree. We made a mistake. I know as chair of community services, I have sat on a number of acceptances in art when it does come to local artists who have donated, and those have been totally accepted. And to Councillor Morrison's point, we did go out to BIA and followed the process that we do have. So I am glad we are relooking at the art process. Maybe we need to branch that out to what are all the gifts or donations, because as we know, a free dog is not a free dog. You know, there are the gifts that keep on giving. So taxpayers have spoken, and when it comes to certain gifts, they don't want to keep. To Councillor Morrison's point, I did not so much the ones that did reach out to me by email, but I did notice, I do read the Facebook pages, and a lot of the comments that were untoward, I do want to speak against, because my father came to this town in 1953 as a German immigrant. And he was spit on, and he was, as a kid on the playground, beat up. And he learned very quickly that Huntsville does not accept differences. My goal is that we as a community change that view, and that we are accepting of people who have made this town of Huntsville a great place to live. And so that is my reason. That was my original reason for accepting, for creating inclusion and diversity in this community. And I will continue to champion that as a councillor. But I understand, and I've heard from the community, that this gift is not accepted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those heartfelt comments, Councillor Schumacher. Deputy Mayor Armour, you had your hand up?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Your Worship. I more like to echo what everybody's been saying so far. I know we made a call and we thought was the right thing at the time, but I'd like to thank actually the constituents of Huntsville for reaching out to us, the phone calls, the emails, etc., and giving us direction, because we are elected by the constituents and we're here to represent them. And I just want to thank everybody, and I apologize for not being able to be there today. I had a trip already planned, so I'm out of town, but thank you to everybody in the gallery for coming today and those who are listening.
Thank you for that. Councillor Renwick.
Great. Thank you, Your Worship, and through you, I also have a prepared statement. And I think coming on the heels of what Councillor Schumacher said, I think it was deeply disappointing that the conversation around this statue has been marred by voices of racism and bigotry. Such negativity does not reflect the spirit of Huntsville, nor the values of respect and inclusivity that we strive to uphold. Our community is stronger when we engage in dialogue and openness with empathy, and I remain committed to ensuring that the public art and civic spaces reflect unity rather than division. I am sincerely grateful to the donor for their generous gift of the Gandhi statue and for the spirit of generosity it represents. While the statue, I believe we will not accept it and it will not be installed, I value the opportunity this process has given me to reflect on what public art means for Huntsville. And I also want to thank the many citizens, many of whom are here today, who reached out to me directly and whose opinions that they expressed in a very respectful and intellectual or thoughtful manner. I hope that we can continue working together to bridge this divide and foster understanding through projects that unite and inspire. And if nothing else, this journey has taught me that accepting public art is never just about the art. It's also about patience, perspective, and perhaps a few extra cups of coffee along the way to talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again for those comments. And I want to echo one thing, and it may sound total appreciation for all of the comments that we received. One thing about that I absolutely love about being a municipal politician is the interaction, direct interaction we have with members of our community. And I know that there are those who think that we make decisions and we don't care. clearly what we're showing today is we absolutely care, and we do support hearing from the public. I can park some of the comments for all of the reasons that were mentioned, but many of them focused on process and the need for public consultation and the importance, to Councillor Renwick's comment, of that dialogue. Public consultation, there are lots of different ways. And I just, it's one of the things I actually think that it's a constant learning process. And that's why we're here today. So I think everybody's made the comments. I will call the question on the motion that is on the floor. You don't need me to read it. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, everybody, for your comments, the thoughtful comments here today. And with that, I have one more motion that has been moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Renwick. Be it resolved that confirmation bylaw 2025-127 be received and passed this 3rd day of December 2025. All those in favor? And that carries. I have one more motion. It has been moved by Councillor Morrison, seconded by Councillor Fitzgerald. Be it resolved that we do now adjourn at 11:46 a.m. All those in favor? And that carries.